You know, folks, sometimes it can be a tough world out there, and we can get so overwhelmed by the sheer possibility of things to worry about. And if you're anything like Sony PlayStation, then you may be worried that Call of Duty will stop being available on PlayStation consoles. And what I'm gonna do in this video is talk about the current situation with Xbox, PlayStation, and Call of Duty, and try to get an idea of the likelihood that Call of Duty would cease to release on PlayStation consoles. Alright, let's do it. Now, as you no doubt already know, it was announced at the beginning of the year that Microsoft was set to acquire Activision Blizzard for nearly $69 billion. Needless to say, this was a monumental event, and not just in the gaming world. Activision Blizzard obviously owns some of the biggest IP in gaming, like World of Warcraft, Overwatch, and what will be our subject today, Call of Duty. Now, as of right now, I'm unsure if the deal has been completely finalized. I don't think it has, but that's just due to the sheer magnitude of the purchase. There's no doubt a lot that goes into buying a company as big as Blizzard. So anyway, from the very beginning of this, PlayStation has been predictably quaking in their boots, scrambling around, scared to death. They've even been scooping up a bunch of smaller studios themselves, and even a sizable one or two, like when they acquired Bungie of Halo and Destiny 2 fame. But as we approach the impending finalization of Microsoft's deal with Blizzard, PlayStation appear more and more noticeably fearful. For example, a few weeks ago, the Federal Trade Commission and other government regulation entities were doing their job to make sure everything pertaining to the Blizzard acquisition was on the up and up, and that this wouldn't lead to a monopoly or whatever. And of course, Sony stood up and said this purchase shouldn't be allowed, and Sony singled out Call of Duty, basically claiming it was too popular and that if Microsoft made it exclusive to Xbox, that wouldn't be fair because Call of Duty has no competition. Xbox shouldn't be allowed to own Call of Duty because they're too big with no competition. So Brazil's government regulators reached out to other big-time games publishers to see if they felt the same, if they felt that Call of Duty had no competition. And to no one's surprise, pretty much no one agreed. Ubisoft, Riot Games, Bandai Namco, just to name a few, all felt that Call of Duty does indeed have competition. And I just want to chime in here with my own opinion. What Sony was arguing is complete nonsense. Yes, Call of Duty is on the top of the dog pile. They might even be far, far ahead of their nearest challenger, but they aren't invincible at all. The amount of successful existing first-person shooters is a constant threat to Call of Duty. It means they can never have too many missteps or too big of a misstep, because there are always so many good notable choices that if the gaming community decides Call of Duty sucks now, they'll just find something else to play, and there's no lack of options. First-person shooters are the furthest thing from an isolated genre, you know? So that's what I think. And Microsoft called Sony out on their bullshit, and most of us saw through Sony's thinly veiled tantrum. But even now, very recently, yesterday I believe, PlayStation President Jim Ryan took to some games journalists so that he could cry and bitch about Call of Duty some more. Jim Ryan says, and I quote, "Microsoft has only offered for Call of Duty to remain on PlayStation for 3 years after the current agreement between Activision and Sony ends. After almost 20 years of Call of Duty on PlayStation, their proposal was inadequate on many levels and failed to take account of the impact on our gamers. We want to guarantee PlayStation gamers continue to have the highest quality Call of Duty experience, and Microsoft's proposal undermines this principle." Oh my god, you know what, Jim, that's cute and all, but cut the bullshit, man. What we just read was a quote from a man unwilling to accept his L. And to me, he's only making things worse by showing how frazzled PlayStation is at the idea of not having Call of Duty. And they should be frazzled by that idea, but it never helps your negotiating when someone knows how desperate you are, you know? And everything PlayStation and Jim Ryan have been doing over like the past month stinks of fear and desperation. And honestly, it's kind of bad sportsmanship too. PlayStation has built its brand and popularity off of high quality software and the exclusivity of that software, even in cases of it being third-party content. Look at the Final Fantasy exclusivity, the Forspoken exclusivity, the Death Stranding exclusivity, and they even had Street Fighter V exclusivity, and that's just recent stuff. And if they could have gotten Call of Duty exclusivity somewhere down the line, they would have paid for that shit so fucking fast. But now that Microsoft, because they have more money to play with, appears to have beaten you at your own game, oh, now it's not fair. Just fucking stop it. But listen, what's the likelihood that Call of Duty stops appearing on PlayStation? I'd say it's low, but it doesn't solve PlayStation's problem. And I'll explain what I mean. First off, Call of Duty will be on PlayStation for years to come due to existing arrangements that predate Microsoft's Blizzard acquisition. However, when that time is up, all bets are off, as Jim Ryan said in his very whiny statement. But PlayStation has a huge install base, and when something's as popular as Call of Duty across the board, you don't just rip it away from a huge chunk of loyal buyers. Think of it like this: the point of exclusivity would be to drive customers away from other consoles and toward Xbox. But an Xbox, let's say the Series S because it's cheaper, is about $300. Call of Duty is $60 or $70 on current gen. Gaming is an expensive hobby. The amount of people who have a free $70 to spend probably greatly outnumber the people who have $300. So it's entirely possible that Microsoft stands to make more money by not removing Call of Duty from PlayStation consoles. But that's just a single possibility. And yeah, it may turn out to be true, but even if it is, who's to say that Microsoft isn't willing to take the hit just because they can? They might say, you know, sure, our profits will be down for X amount of years, but because we have the ability to survive that in this amount of years, we'll have bounced back better than ever. And then the real question becomes, can PlayStation take the hit of not having Call of Duty? Well, by the way they're acting, the answer is no. And here's where the true plot reveals itself. PlayStation has too big of an install base, so Xbox would rather not have to remove them from the equation. Meanwhile, PlayStation can't take the hit of not having Call of Duty. So what's the result? Well, the crux of Xbox's whole gaming approach is Game Pass and getting people in the Xbox ecosystem even if they don't necessarily have an Xbox, like Game Pass on PC. So it seems pretty likely that Xbox would use Call of Duty to strong-arm PlayStation into putting Game Pass on their consoles. That way, yes, you can still play Call of Duty on PlayStation, but you have to do it through a Game Pass subscription. Game Pass on PlayStation is the end game for Xbox here. Obviously, PlayStation doesn't want to do that. But with the current cards on the table, when the time comes, I'm not sure they'll have much of a choice. You know, maybe they'll have made some moves of their own in that time that open up other options, but for now, all we can do is wait and see. So, those are basically my thoughts on this whole Call of Duty Microsoft Sony thing. Let me know what you think, what you make of all of this. Will Call of Duty be on PlayStation forever, or should we all just go out and get an Xbox right now? Whatever the case may be, that's all I've got for you right now. Until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I'm gonna buy Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 on PlayStation. Goodbye.